Hello, Professor and fellow classmates. Welcome to Group 1's prototype of a Transfer of Accountability program accessible through a mobile device to be used by nurses during shift handover in a medical or surgical unit in an acute care hospital in Southern Ontario. As the design for our prototype has used a desktop without a touchscreen application for demonstration, you will see the cursor indicating this interaction is with the touchscreen. After the tablet has been powered on and the user-specific authentication details have been added by using the pop-up keyboard or input stylus to interact with the sign-in screen, the home screen appears, revealing a number of icons representing applications loaded onto the tablet. Navigate to the app icon representing the eTOA application by tapping the icon to open the content-specific patient list. For the purposes of this demonstration, we will be implying the functionality of this icon as it might appear on a desktop interface. We appreciate the feedback that was received during our peer evaluation, as this helped us address the lack of interaction in our work-in-progress demo. Our prototype was created using an articulate content publisher called Articulate Storyline. Our eTOA template was originally designed as a Word document, then functionality was later added through buttons and triggers to demonstrate the type of interaction found in our design. This software package is marketed to users to create online story course content, but it is also a useful tool for creating interactive prototypes such as ours. We will begin by opening our Storyline Flash file, and it will appear in our web browser. And here we bring up our patient list. And we'll select one of our eTOAs. The eTOA template opens for the specific patient. Much of this information is populated automatically by other electronic documentation systems within the hospital systems, such as the Laboratory Information System, the Radiology Information System, and the Patient Registration System. The toolbar contains patient list navigation arrows to open the next or previous patient eTOA. A home button returns the user to the initial patient list. Besides the refresh button, a print option and a full screen viewing option is also available. Beneath the toolbar is a patient banner bar with some basic demographic information. More detailed demographic information is detailed in the section below. To the far right of the template are some action icons which allow for inputting the name of the nurse receiving the patient. A care provider search screen appears where the user taps to select a name from a pick list. There is also an option to share with the patient on their hospital-specific TV screen. The last option in this area is to email another care provider again with a search screen where a tap will select a name and the arrows allow for navigation from patient to patient within the patient list. There was a comment about privacy in our peer evaluation when giving a report via screen. To address this, we would like to take the time to mention that currently TOAs are being done at bedside in Toronto hospitals with the curtains drawn to maximize patient privacy. Under the red Patient Information and Demographics bar is a section with further demographic details, including emergency and medical contact information, and details about this admission are also included. We see here, for instance, that our patient was admitted on October 16th, and the reason for their admission was pneumonia. Information such as vital signs and allergies are clearly displayed with red text indicating an abnormal result or positive allergy. For instance, we see that this patient is underweight, possibly malnourished, and that her temperature was last taken and seen as out of range. We also see that she has an allergy to latex and strawberries, both which result in itching and rash. Medication information is included along with laboratory details, again with red text indicating an unusual result. For instance, we see that her hemoglobin is low and some aspect of her white blood cell count is out of range, as well as her platelets are low, so she's obviously anemic and will be receiving treatment for that while she's in the hospital. In the Documents section are accessible notes that will be navigated to and with a tap on the touchscreen. We see that on the day of her admission, she received a chest x-ray, and they did a repeat chest x-ray the following day, which has not yet been signed off by the reading radiologist. This next section is related to the nursing care that must be consistent across shifts. With any acute care visit, the objective is to facilitate discharge, so discharge information is of prime importance. The discharge plan would be seen here if the plan has been documented. Further nursing care direction is shown along with an option to add free text details specific to the transfer of accountability by using the pop-up keypad or input stylus. For instance, here we see that the patient will be having repeat blood work. There's no applicable wound care. She'll be receiving a dietitian consult and will be following up with her family doctor in 3 days after discharge. And in this section below here, would there be a dialog box available for entering free text comments. We also see in this section some pertinent details about the patient's current status. At the bottom, there's also a reminder to sign in at the beginning of your shift. There's also a secondary reminder that's included, which indicates that you should update the eTOA throughout the shift so that you would have to rely much less on memory, and that the documentation would help you towards the end of your shift, as long as it's remained current. Now, our usability study was conducted on 2 registered nurses with extensive work experience in nephrology. Given our technical and time constraints, our participants were still able to navigate our template with relative ease, as they were accustomed to viewing similar TOA documents in a paper-based format. Overall, they were happy with the fact that all the major clinical information pertaining to their patient was readily accessible in a simplistic layout. Their feedback highlighted the fact that in future design iterations, our eTOA should include information about level of pain and consciousness and the patient's chief complaint. Aspects of our eTOA were perceived as out of the correct order of importance. If this project was afforded a longer timeline and more resources, our design team would be able to administer further requirement surveys and would hope to better rate critical elements of importance for our TOA. This finding is consistent with some of our ambiguous data from our original requirement study. We thank our fellow classmates for taking the time to evaluate our prototype of an electronic transfer of accountability interface. Given the technical constraints of our group, our limited resources, and primarily clinical background, we strive to apply the course theory this semester to the best of our abilities. We look forward to seeing what the rest of you have created this term.